Hello, Generals. We are back with Ultimate General Civil War in our Union Let's Play. We are cleaning up the army. We have cleaned up the army after the Battle of Shiloh, essentially bumping units up to their full fighting strength. And we are getting ready for the next battle in the mini campaign leading up towards Gaines's Mill. The first battle is Secure River. And we get to bring 12 units to this battle. We are being tasked with capturing a defended block of trees, essentially. So, in this particular fight, it is my intention to bloody or increase the experience of Second Corps. So, I generally treat the Corps as kind of interchangeable and that kind of thing, but the units in Second Corps need more experience. So everything that's been in First Corps here, they've been around the block a few times. The only major addition to First Corps at the moment is the creation of a second Dragoon unit utilizing the 55s. I upgraded 1st Dragoon to sharp 59s and passed the 55s on down to 2nd Dragoon. And then in Second Corps, we've created a couple of new units. We have consolidated the 2 sharpshooter units into 1 sharpshooter unit and then bumped the numbers and upgraded them to sharps. And we've also generated a new artillery unit, having purchased 20-pound parrots using reputation. And we've upgraded 1 unit to Harper's Ferries, and then 1 unit that was using farmers is actually going to be blown up to using reboard. Which is about as good as a Springfield 42. It's not as good as a 42, but it's near enough. It makes no difference. All the units here were bumped up to either 1600 or a near round number. So these 2 were both bumped up to the nearest 100. And in the case of 14th Infantry, they were at 18 or something like that. And I bumped them up to 1680, just utilizing every Springfield 42 I had in my arsenal. And then we have, actually, we have enough reboards. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're sending our guys out there with the best tools possible within reason. So, we have for this first skirmisher unit, we have a new... Where are they? There they are. We have a new Dragoon unit as well, utilizing all of the Cook and Brothers muskets that we've captured. I am well aware that these are not great weapons, and I have no expectation that 545 will remain as their officers too low. Will remain as their... Yeah, that's fine. Unit size for a while. I imagine they'll end up bleeding down towards... we'll call it median, or we'll call it mean fighting strength of a Dragoon unit, which to my mind is I'm settling on, I think, somewhere in the 400 man range. I got to figure out what that number actually ends up looking like. So infantry, you'll notice here, the experienced ones are hovering in the mid 1200s. I imagine that'll be the kind of golden mean for all these units is mid 1200s. I imagine a cap of 13 for my Fusilier units and a floor of 1,000. I feel like 1,000 is probably as low as I'll let them go as true fighting units. Our Musketeer units, however, are all hovering around the 1,500 man size. Evidently, there are some hidden efficiency penalties for units that scale much larger than 1650. And I have seen this in previous playthroughs where I had 2,000 man brigades and 2,500 man brigades, and they just moved sluggishly. They were great on defense, and they could put out this just phenomenal amount of firepower, but they couldn't maneuver well, and they were just kind of hard to operate. And as well, they're also hard to officer, as you can imagine at that kind of scale. And they're also a bitch and a half to arm, especially in large number. So one of the things I'm kind of liking about these smaller unit sizes, 1250 or whatever, is that the number of units I can field wielding modern or appropriate weaponry increase. And Yeah, that's fine. Let's get them some experience. So second core is going to be what we're going to take into River Crossing. As you'll notice, our bank accounts have absolutely swelled after the Battle of Shiloh, and I've barely spent any of it. Our manpower pool is equally very high, doing great. For Gaines Mill, we're going to need to keep both of these core fighting strength. I'm going to need to shrink second core and then build up first core, because first core can right now field a maximum of 15 units, and second core is currently too big for Gaines's Mill, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that. That's a fixable problem. We'll put one of our points into Army Org to make that make each individual core a little larger, and then a couple of the units that are in second core will filter upward into first core and that kind of thing. However, in the battles leading up to Gaines's Mill, it is important for me to get as many units as possible, some battlefield experience. Now, Shiloh was wonderful to the Army in that all of the units that fought there gained a star. Gained a star, and some of them gained their second star, which is great. So, given the scale of the Army that we're trying to build for in Gaines's Mill, I don't need to scale the Army up all that much, and I want to go into that battle with as many 2-star units as practical. And as much as I love my 24-pound howitzers, it's important to me to spread the experience out and get some other units some experience. So come to think of it, let's go ahead and get one of the 1-star units into second core and pull the 2-star core out. What happened? Oh, someone got pushed down. Okay. That's actually fine. Yeah, that's actually fine. Let's just have an artillery division. There are artillery and skirmishers, rifle-armed infantry, and then the cav. Yep, no, that's fine. So there's a mix of a tiny core of, we'll call them the Fusilier brigades, who have accurate modern rifles, a huge block of troops who are going to be intended to be our grinders. This is the meat of the Army, the sort of the face. And then a brand new unit of dragoons who has antiquated equipment, and that's simply because I want to train the unit in the field. I will be purchasing for them either Smith carbines or Sharps 59s as soon as they become available in the quantity I need. I'm not wild about the Smith carbine, but it's it's workable. It's fine. So we just need the numbers at this point to get the Army out there. So this is my 12 units. They're at full supply, and we've already, just as a heads up, cleared out the academy. I do this at the beginning of every campaign when I have the most time to go between when I have to really expend the money. So right now I've got this much money that I can blow on the officers, and then whatever we're going to earn in the course of these 3 battles. So the Army going into Gaines Mill, I expect, will be very well equipped, probably not much larger than it is right now. So let's, without further ado, all that preamble, my apologies for the campaign. Let's take a look. All right, so Capture the Hill is a battle that we're going to be outnumbered pretty heavily in, it looks like, which is fine. It asks us to capture this block of terrain, and this is, dream defensive terrain for the AI. We are supported by a pair of ironclads, which is like bringing an extra battery of artillery. However, that support is what I would call unreliable. I have no control over what they're shooting at, and they're so far away I have no control over their shot types as well. So I prefer to use artillery fairly close. So essentially with this battle, the game kind of wants you to just march straight into that and just get slaughtered, which is silly. And so for here, I'd advocate kind of a pincher movement. We're going to have our 6-pound artillery moving with the infantry as a support weapon, and then the 10-pounders and the 20-pound parrots are both going to hang back and provide long-range bombardment. On the left flank, we're going to send our cavalry here in a wide flanking maneuver to come around this way. We're also going to have the snipers and a babysitter unit of infantry. We'll send the 10th Infantry to support the left flank. Then we're going to lead on the right flank, and this is the bottom flank, I guess you could say. We're going to lead on the bottom flank with our musketeer units and support with our fusiliers. I will be detaching some skirmishers from these units to just kind of occupy this territory here, so that the AI can't just kind of move with impunity. We're going to deploy... actually, we're going to deploy 6th Artillery is going to end up being about here. But I'm going to want 3rd Field right in this area. And then we're going to want the rifle-armed units to support the main push. The supply wagon will kind of dance back and forth for a while. So this is a very strong Union right punch with enough forces on the left to demand attention, but not to distract from the main draw. And again, we're going to have skirmishers kind of just keeping the center here, filling the space, but not really engaging in battle. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Oh, right. Control in this game. Okay. Well, no, let's not overextend ourselves. And you're fine there. So I want the artillery to be in covered positions. There's the probability that we're going to take some counter battery fire, and I want that to be limited in its efficiency. I also don't want to get too aggressive with my flank force here. If I claim this hill, they're going to come at me, and I need to make sure I'm in position to make them kind of pay. So we're going to use sort of the negative cover of the rear side of this hill to hopefully screen the force from the visuals. If I can't see over the hill, they presumably can't see me. And rather immediately, the skirmishers already begin to pay for themselves, so to speak, by providing us visuals on the Confederate force and also a screen. We're likely going to get artillery. I can't tell what kind of cannon it is, but we're likely going to get artillery firing at skirmishers who will hopefully be in the woods versus formed heavy infantry. So I need to be a little precise about some of this. The spotting ability of the infantry is key. Okay, so I'm an advocate. I know a lot of players kind of pause a lot. I'm an advocate of playing in slow motion when maneuver needs to be very precise. Because I need to be able to see what's happening or some of the outcome of some of my decisions. All right, I'm very tempted to send the cavalry far to the rear there, but I don't want to do that yet. It seems premature. All right. All right, so if Jackson wants to come and fight us out in the open, I'd say he's more than welcome to do so, especially if he wants to direct his attention towards the skirmishers that are hiding in houses on his flank. I am more than happy to let him waste his bullets on that unit. Now, obviously, I have a general saying in playing this game: the life of a light infantryman in my army is, oh goodness, yep. So that was a mistake on my part. The life of a light infantryman in my army is not a safe one. Okay, so I thought that maybe I could get these guys around, and it seems like that was a big mistake. And trying to get back out over this way is also not going to work. So yeah, we need to get them out of there. Now Jackson's position is, I think, tenuous at best at this juncture. We just need to convince him of this fact. And hopefully, so I'm a little bit paralyzed on the left now because I've undercommitted over there. But there's Jackson deciding maybe this is a bad idea. Nope, get back. Oh, 3rd Dragoon's in a rock and a hard place. Okay, I need to commit to the attack. So let's get... There's another... Oh, yeah, these guys. Okay. So we'll get them basically all in there. And then you up to support. You up to support. Provide visuals. Okay. So I thought maybe I could sneak in there and grab that supply wagon. Turns out there's a brigade I wasn't aware of. So I'm going to need to be very careful about how I get 3rd Dragoon out of this mess, which it's absolutely my fault that I've gotten them into. Let's see if I can't sneak around that way. Now, fortunately, the main thrust is going splendidly, and so many of the troops are being drawn away to deal with this one tiny rogue unit of cavalry that it's possible that may end up being for the best anyway. This poor cav unit, I have put them through... I'm pretty rough on my cav too, I think. I'm really rough on my light infantry, but I think I'm just tyrannical to my cav. Okay. So we need to convince Jackson that retreating up the screen is the correct direction. I do not want to get into a protracted melee with a unit that size. I would happily trade blows with them in their current position. Okay, so 16th and 14th are currently taking the lead in our offensive efforts, and I'm trying to move 10th Infantry into a position where it could affect support. I'm a little worried about tripping the flag. This early. All right, Jackson, get the hint, buddy. And then we need to get infantry into the support 16th and 14th. I need to make sure that avenue is well supported. And excellently, we are sort of baiting at least one brigade to come out and kind of deal with this just complete non-issue. Like, they shouldn't be worried about this at all. So these Confederate brigades are huge. Oh, God. Okay. So that's going to be bad. I have never seen them defend this aggressively and so eager to leave their works. And go ahead and fold. Get back. So at this point, I'm not really sure what the best course of action is on the left. They've committed an extreme force to meet me, so I'm trying to find defensive terrain. I'm okay with what I've found. They have to cross a river to get to me. And their main army is over here getting kind of outfought. So I'm mostly okay with the current predicament. I'm just not happy with what the current predicament means for 10th Infantry, 3rd Dragoon, or 1st Rangers. The Rangers are probably going to be fine. But I need to find a way to shake up the stalemate because I don't want to sacrifice 3 units. And the Dragoons are not equipped to handle this fight. But the artillery is doing a wonderful job supporting the infantry. And hopefully that will be enough to convince Gibson, Anderson, and Jackson that maybe discretion is the better part of valor. Additionally, this particular thrust of this grouping of units over here is not particularly well equipped. I mean, they don't have modern weapons, they don't have rifles, they don't have all that kind of stuff. And it's fine. That isn't a major weakness when the entire army is fighting as one big block, but these are separated units that are supposed to be, and now they're kind of it's a liability. So I like the utilization of mixed order. Right now we're just grinding it out. Let's get the supply wagon up there. And see if we can't get some flank shots with the snipers or skirmishers. The artillery is having a field day, which is great. Like I said, the main thrust is going fine. All right, breaking off a unit of skirmishers to help 1st Rangers deal with these guys because they're not really a problem. They're just kind of annoying. Okay, so Jackson is getting up on 15th Infantry. They're supported by cannons, but until they penetrate, I can't shoot through. So if they melee me, oh no, maybe I can. Interesting. So Jackson's going to be probably in a hurry to retreat. Yeah, that's excellent. Okay, so we need to advance quickly so that the rest of the army can support as well. Very, very happy with the performance of 5th Artillery and 3rd Field as well. This is a narrower corridor than I tend to want to advance along, which is fine. All right, fall back. Oh, actually, no. Keep going. You're doing the right thing. All right, so this is like turning into a battle of skirmishers, which is a fight that I'm fine with fighting. Yeah, 3rd Dragoon somehow has Chalmers morale shocked, which is a huge boon. It means that maybe I can keep on and is basically as long as 3rd Dragoon can continue reloading faster than Chalmers, I can keep him morale shocked indefinitely until he retreats. And essentially, what I'm afraid of happening as the battle kind of proceeds is that we're going to push the Confederates here into what was ostensibly supposed to be my distraction wing. But yeah, excellent work on the artillery units. Very happy with their performance. Am a little nervous about the 1,000 man cav unit over there. That's certainly a disconcertingly large number. And here comes a charge, which makes perfect sense. We just need to keep falling back. Keep it up, Dragoons. Excellent work. Great job, guys. I'm ecstatic with the performance of these units, and some of them are under equipped. Some of them are being asked to handle some loads that are a little bit beyond them, and I think it's really taking a lot of the weight off of the main thrust. The main thrust here. So as a sort of a scale for what I'm intending to do, I'm going to keep grinding it out with the musketeer units, and thankfully I'm preserving these units. Their casualties are fairly light. When the defensive terrain is taken, my intent is to deploy the Fusiliers along this line and just and push the artillery up and keep just raking the Confederates in the open field. But until sort of the wind gets taken out of their sails, I kind of have to just keep playing cat and mouse. And the artillery is doing wonderfully. The artillery is really doing a great job. I don't think that this works without the artillery. This battle plan does not function without close order support artillery really amplifying the offensive firepower of my units. And we're going to go ahead and give 3rd Dragoon a chance to rest. They have absolutely earned it. We're going to keep 10th Infantry position to continue shocking Chalmers so that he can't kind of meaningfully attack. And, oh, okay. Well, they end it for us early. Probably for the better. Unfortunately, I would have loved to keep fighting that out because that was going way better than I expected it to. Still 1,200 and change to, 42, assuming that's personnel and then 8 guns. Yeah, so 42 something. That's pretty good. We could have done a lot better. I would have loved to have fought that battle out, but I'm really pleasantly surprised with the performance of close order infantry artillery, and then that distractionary force really, I think, pulled way above its weight, or punched way above its weight, because it baited such a disproportionate response that when the main force arrived, there was simply nothing to resist it with. So in terms of kills, the big winners are some of the musketeer units who they're just grounded out. Good 3-to-1-ish kill ratios. Not phenomenal. I mean, they definitely didn't do great as far as that's concerned. 5th Field, I mean, these are 6-pounders. I know that they are not great cannons, but they can do some serious work if they are just used very closely with the infantry. And then the Dragoons, I think I mismanaged to hell and back on my part, but they really carried their weight, and 1st Ranger just did phenomenally. And we got a promotion, Loomis, who's been with us, I think, since the very beginning, all the way up. So light captures, enough to fill up a farmer unit, enough to kind of refill some of the Springfield units, and cool. Okay, well, hey, that was the Battle of, I think, Secure the River Crossing or something. We got a whole bunch more money and a whole bunch more men. I am very excited for what this means for Gaines's Mill. We're going to go ahead and put that point into Army Org now so that I've got it taken care of. The next 2 points will likely go into economy so I can keep on buying weapons affordably. And we're doing really great on our way over to Gaines's Mill. This Union playthrough is really getting rolling a little faster than I think the Confederate one did. The Confederate one, the raw quality of the troops is so good that it's fine. You can rely on that to just carry you through, despite the fact that you're under equipped. And the Union one, you kind of got to play on, I think, the superior equipment of the Union units and then everything else. So we've kept the manpower relatively stationary, so that's fine. I don't think we had the opportunity to inflict serious casualties. Rendezvous is chronologically the first of these two battles, so that will be our next battle, and I'll do that in another video, but just as a heads up, we'll be taking an even smaller battle or smaller army into this engagement, just 8 troops. It's going to be probably Second Corps again, and this is a really fun one too. So without further ado, thanks for watching, and I hope you're learning something. This is Fiasco signing out.